Hello students, the next topic which we are going to study today, that is Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory given by John Dalton. In his theory, it was based on his proposal that the smallest particle of matter is atom. So on the basis of his proposal, he made a atomic theory which has following postulates. The first is matter is made of extremely small discrete particles called atom. That means discrete means a special type particles which are different from the other particles. The smallest particle, that is atom. Atoms of a particular element are identical in all respects. Means an element would be having the atoms all would be having same properties as shape, size, mass and chemical properties. Third is atoms of different elements are different in all respects. They are different in all respects means their shape, size, mass and chemical properties would be different. For example, if we take here example that hydrogen, we have taken two atoms. They would be equal in all respects. Okay, they would be equal. Whereas if we take one atom of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, then they would not be equal in all these respects: shape, size, mass, chemical properties and many more, etc. Similarly, next point is atoms are indivisible. Means atoms cannot be divided into more simpler parts. That means if we have one hydrogen, then that will not be equal to half hydrogen plus half hydrogen, because half hydrogen will not be existing. Atoms are indestructible, means they cannot be destroyed. This we have already studied in laws of chemical combination, that is conservation of mass, that mass can neither be created, cannot be destroyed. The next point is atoms are the unit of a chemical reaction. Means the smallest particle that could take part in any chemical reaction, that would be a atom. Okay, atoms of different elements combine with each other in a fixed simple whole number ratio to form compound atoms, that is molecules. Means in a molecule, for example, if we take like water, H2O, then two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of oxygen are combined together. So they are fixed, they are in simple ratio and they are in whole numbers to form molecules which are also known as compound atoms. Now there are some limitations to the Dalton's atomic theory. What are these limitations? Let's study one by one. First is it could not explain Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. Okay, because as we have studied in the previous video that at the time of Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes and Avogadro's law, it was believed that atoms of same element cannot combine together. Means hydrogen cannot combine together to form hydrogen molecule. They used to think that hydrogen gas has only hydrogen atom, not like molecules. Okay, so it could not explain. Second, it could not explain why and how do atoms combine together to form compound atoms, because at that time when Dalton produced his theory as atom, the electron, proton and neutrons were not discovered. So it was he was not able to explain that how atoms combine together. Like we know today that compounds are formed by sharing or gaining and losing of electrons. The next point is it could not explain the nature of forces which holds atom together in molecules. Like now we know that there is intermolecular attraction force of electrostatic force type, and there are some other forces also which combine together the molecules, right? So at that time he could not explain these also. The last point is it could not explain why atoms could not exist in free state. Okay, atoms could not exist in free state. He was not like, for example, the atoms of noble metals and all. Why they cannot exist in free state means because atoms are very reactive. So reactivity he could not explain. And second things, why compound atoms can exist freely means molecules like, for example, water, carbon dioxide. These things are able to exist in state in free state. So these points were not explained by Dalton's atomic theory. That is why it needed some improvement, and further the other scientists did some experiments to improve it. That's all about Dalton's atomic theory. After studying Dalton's atomic theory, we are going to study some definition of basic concepts of atomic and molecular masses. What is atomic mass? The first is atomic mass. One atomic mass unit, that is we study like 1 AMU, is the quantity of mass equal to the 1/12 of the mass of an atom of carbon-12. Carbon-12 is the most stable isotope of carbon. Second, before this, like nowadays we study about carbon-12 as the base of explaining 1 AMU. Earlier, when these type of theories were started, first we used to study with the hydrogen. We used to relate the masses of other elements with hydrogen by taking the mass of hydrogen as 1. But it got failed after some time, because nowadays we know that hydrogen has atomic mass that is equal to 1.008. Then after that the theory was given which was taken as base, that was oxygen 16 as the base, and for a very long time it was used to calculate the relative masses of atoms. What was the difference between these two? Hydrogen, when hydrogen was taken as the base, then most of the elements used to get the atomic masses in decimals, not as a whole numbers, whereas with the oxygen this problem was you can say was neglected, and most of the elements got atomic masses as the whole numbers, near to the whole numbers. But with the carbon-12 as taken, because it has the exact value of 12 gram mass. Now the other elements were calculated. The mass of the other elements is called relative atomic mass, because it is related with the respect to the mass of the carbon-12 atom. The formula is the mass of the atom of a given element upon 1/12 of the mass of an atom of carbon-12. Nowadays the AMU is replaced by U, which is unified mass. AMU is atomic mass unit. So for example, now we have calculated the values. There are some examples. Atomic mass of hydrogen is 1.008 unit, whereas atomic mass of oxygen is 16 unit. The next topic is average atomic mass. The average atomic mass is based on the theory that isotopes of many elements exist in nature. For example, so it is also called isotopic mass. The second name of this definition is isotopic mass, because we know that, for example, chlorine has two isotopes, chlorine 35 and chlorine 37, and they exist in the ratio of 3:1 in the nature. So how can we calculate average atomic mass of chlorine? That is, first chlorine 35, so 35 into its ratio 3 plus 37 into its ratio 1 upon the sum of ratio 3 plus 1. That gives the value of 35.5 AMU or U. The next definition which we are going to study, that is molecular mass. Molecular mass is the sum of the atomic masses of all the elements present in a molecule. Let's take an example of carbon dioxide. Carbon has atomic mass 12, whereas oxygen has 16. So 12 plus, because oxygen has 2 atoms in carbon dioxide, so 16 into 2, that is equal to 12 plus 32, and it gives values 44 unit. The last definition of atomic masses is of type formula mass. Some substances do not contain discrete molecules as their constituent units. Discrete molecules means, for example, like sodium chloride. In the solid state, sodium chloride is not found as NaCl alone, but sodium is surrounded by 6 chlorine atoms, and that is sodium ion and chloride ions, not atoms. So basically we can say that formula masses of are you can say type of compounds which have ions, positive and negative, and they are also calculated by the atomic masses of the atoms. Sodium has 23 and chlorine is 35.5. So when we add it, we get the mass equal to 58.5 units. These were the basic units definitions, and after this we are going to start the mole concept.